And that was different. You'd accepted the responsibility of being head of a family. You weren't taking handouts as a way of life.
Fred told me you were against their getting married so soon. I thought it was just because they were so young.
Well, that's certainly a factor. The divorce rate shows that married couples over 21 have 6 times as good a chance of making a go of it as kids under that age.
Look, John, these kids aren't statistics. They're people. You got married, I got married, they want to get married. What are you going to do to stop them?
I know what I'm going to do. Margie's underage. She needs my consent, and I'm not going to give it.
Look, I have great respect for a man of principle, but there are times when principles must give way to reality.
Spare me the amateur philosophy.
I say if you don't go along with these kids, you're asking for trouble.
Meaning what?
Oh, get your head out of the sand, man. They're young. You try to stop them from getting married, you'll just force them into doing something else.
Charlie, as long as I've known you, make one more crack like that, and we're going to go to the mat.
Look, will you calm down, John? Now, look, this is what is known as the facts of life. I ought to know. I came up the hard way. I had to fight for everything I've got. Well, if I can stop my son from having to do that because my money will make things easier for him, I'm very happy to do so. And if you're so cheap that you won't help, I'll support both of them. Look, will you wake up, man? This is the 20th century. It's almost the 21st. Never mind that sandwich. Bring my tab into the bar.
I wish that urban redevelopment committee of yours would get a move on, John. We certainly could use more parking space downtown.
Pretty grim, isn't it?
Awful. Margie and I did manage to get into a couple of shops today.
Mother's a great believer in new clothes to mend heartbreaks. It's the next best thing to a trip to Europe.
Now, darling, you needed those new blouses. We could have decided on the skirts, too, if you hadn't had to run off and do something with Fred.
The something I had to do with Fred was get blood tests. That ought to convince somebody around here that we're serious.
Hello? Oh, yes, Fred. Just a minute.
I'll take it upstairs.
She'll be right there, Fred. More coffee, darling.
Please. Ellen, do you think Margie is so different from you when you were her age?
Well, I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I just can't imagine you getting out of line. And...
Out of line?
Well,
Now, who put that idea into your head? Charlie Judson?
Oh, he blamed me up with his implications. Practically said right out that if they didn't get married, they'd...
Well, there's always that possibility.
Hey, where do you stand on this thing?
Well, right beside you. Where else would I?
Well, then...
But it doesn't prevent me from seeing what might happen and worrying about it.
Do you mean to tell me that she can't be expected to wait for one more year, at least till the boy gets out of college and goes to work?
Just tell me one thing, Dad.
Well, whatever it is, you've evidently made up your mind already.
Did you tell Fred's father that we were a couple of deadbeats trying to live off your charity?
Now, don't put it that way. We had a long talk. Both of us got hot under the collar. I might have said things that I...
Margie, where are you going?
To my sorority tonight. After that, I don't know.
Baby, listen.
If I can't live off your charity when I'm married, then I don't intend to do it when I'm single either.
Now listen, Margie.
Let her go, dear. We'll only wind up in a big fight with all of us saying things we'll regret. Wait till she cools off. John, I'm going to sign that paper. It's too big a risk not to.
You don't have much faith in her, do you?
Well, they might elope across the state line, falsify their ages. There's all kinds of charming possibilities.
That wouldn't stand up. We could have it annulled.
Would you? Like fun you would. We'd all wind up strangers and enemies, and I don't want that.
Well, do you think I do? But what's right is right.
Well, sometimes it's wrong to be right. She only needs the consent of one parent. I'm going to sign that paper. Such a beautiful Saturday, dear. Why don't you go